guys, good morning. Gosh, I am still, my heart is still pumping because I just did the exercise part of the morning routine. Uh, the Savers Life, the Miracle Morning, the Not So Obvious Secret Guaranteed to Transform Your Life by Hal Elrod. It's past 8 a.m., so I can't read that part. So after exercising, it's time to do the reading. Welcome to Anna and Sally Self Development Series. Book 1, The Miracle Morning, The Not So Obvious Secret Guarantee to Transform Your Life before 8 a.m. by Hal Elrod. So we'll be reading letters R and S, and then after that, we'll be reading the rest of the book tomorrow. Not the full rest of the book, some of it. So here we go. Let's read R. Lifesavers. R is for reading. A person who won't read has no advantage over one who can't read. Mark Twain. Reading is to the mind what exercise is to the body, and prayer is to the soul. We become the books we read. Reading, the fifth practice in Lifesavers, is the fast track to transform any area of your life. It is one of the most immediate methods for acquiring the knowledge, ideas, and strategies you need to achieve level 10 success in any area of your life. I'll just fix that way. Okay. The key is to learn from the experts, those who have already done what you want to do. Don't reinvent the wheel. The fastest way to achieve everything you want is to model successful people who have already achieved it. With an almost infinite amount of books available in every topic, there are no limits to the knowledge you can gain through daily reading. I recently heard someone say in a mocking, "I'm too cool for this tone." Ah, yeah, I don't read self-help books, as if such books were beneath them. Poor guy. I'm not sure if it's his ego or just lack of awareness, but he's missing out on the unlimited supply of knowledge, boundless growth, and life changing ideas he could gain from some of the most brilliant, successful individuals in the world. Who in their right mind would choose not to do that? Whatever you want for your life, there are countless books on how to get it. Wanting to become wealthy, rich, or multimillionaire? There are plenty of books written by those who have achieved the pinnacles of financial success, which will teach you how. Here are a few of my favorites. Think and You're Rich by Napoleon Hill, Secrets of the Millionaire Mind by T. Harv Eker, The Money More Total Money Makeover by Dave Ramsey. Want to create an incredible, loving, supportive, and romantic relationship? There are probably more books on how to do exactly that than you could read in a decade. Here are a few of my favorites. The Five Love Languages by Gary D. Chapman, The Soulmate Experience by Joe Dunn, The Seven Principles for Making a Marriage Work by John M. Gottman and Nan Silver. Whether you'd like to transform your relationships, increase your self confidence, improve your communication and persuasion skills, learn how to become wealthy, or improve any area of your life, head to your local bookstore or do what I do and head to Amazon.com and you'll find a plethora of books on any area of your life you want to improve. For those who want to minimize our carbon footprint or save money, I also recommend utilizing your local library or checking out one of my favorite websites, www.paperbackswap.com. Let's explore that later. For a complete list of my favorite personal development books, including those that have made the biggest impact on my success and happiness, check out the recommended reading list located at tmmbook.com. I think we all did that. I mean, we clicked that before and we explored that already. How much should you read? I recommend making a commitment to read a minimum of 10 pages per day, although 5 is okay to start with. If you read slowly and you don't yet enjoy reading, let's do some math on this for a second. Reading 10 pages per day is not going to break you, but it will make you. We're only take talking 10 to 15 minutes of reading, or 15 to 30 minutes if you read more slowly. Looking at it this way, if you quantify that reading uh, just 10 pages a day will average 3,650 pages a year, which equates to approximately 18 to 100 page personal development, self development books. That's exciting. 18 books a year. Let me ask you, if you read 18 personal development books in the next 12 months, do you think you'll be more knowledgeable, capable, and confident? I knew and improved you? Absolutely. Final thoughts on reading. Begin with the end in mind. Before you begin reading each day, ask yourself why you are reading that book. What do you want to gain from it? And keep that outcome in mind. Take a moment to do this now by asking yourself what you want to gain from reading this book. Are you committed to finishing it? More importantly, are you committed to implementing what you're learning and taking action by following through with the Miracle Morning 30-day Life Transformation Challenge at the end? Many Miracle Morning practitioners use their reading time to catch up on their religious texts such as Bible, Torah, or any other. Hopefully, you took the advice I gave and you've been underlining, circling, highlighting, folding the corners of pages and taking notes in the margins of the book to get the most out of any book I read and make it easy for me to revisit the content again in the future. I underline or encircle anything that I may want to revisit and make notes in the margin to remind me why I underlined the particular section. Unless, of course, it's a library book. This process of marking books as I read allows me to come back at any time and recapture all the key lessons, ideas, and benefits without needing to read the book again, cover to cover. I highly recommend rereading good personal development books. Rarely can we read a book once and internalize all the value from that book. Achieving mastery in any area requires repetition, being exposed to certain ideas, strategies, techniques over and over again until they become ingrained in your subconscious mind. For example, if you want to master karate, you won't learn the techniques once and then think, I got this. No. You'd learn the techniques, practice them, then go back to the sensei and learn them again. And repeat the process hundreds of times in order to master a single technique. Mastering techniques to improve your life works the same. There's more value in rereading a book you already know has strategies that can improve your life than there is in reading a new book before you've mastered the strategies in the first. Whenever I'm reading a book that I see I can really make an impact on an area of my life, I commit to rereading that book, or at least rereading the parts I've underlined, circled, and highlighted. As soon as I'm finished going through it the first time, I actually keep a special space in my bookshelf for the books that I want to reread. I read books like Think and Grow Rich as many as 3 times and often refer back to them throughout the year. Rereading requires discipline because it's typically more fun to read a book never read before. Repetition can be boring or tedious, which is why so few people ever master anything. But that's even more reason why we should do it, to develop a higher level of self discipline. Why not try it out with this book? Commit to reading it as soon as you're finished, to deepen your learning and give yourself more time to master the miracle mind. As for the lifesavers, is scribing. Whatever is that you write, putting words on the page is a form of therapy that doesn't cost a dime. Makes sense. Ideas can come from anywhere and at any time. The problem with making mental notes is that the ink fades very rapidly. Another true thing. Hang on, let me see this. All right. And then scribing is the final place in the lifesavers and is really just another word for writing. But please allow me to keep it real. I needed an S for the lifesavers because a W wouldn't fit anywhere. Thanks, Thesaurus. I owe you one. Ah. Scribing is writing. Journaling. My favorite form of scribing is journaling, which I do 5 to 10 minutes during the miracle morning by getting your thoughts out of your head and putting them in writing. You gain valuable insights you'd otherwise never see. The scribing element of your miracle morning enables you to document your insights, ideas, breakthroughs, realizations, successes, and lessons learned, as well as any area of opportunity, personal growth, or improvement. While I had known about the profound benefits of journaling for years, and I had even tried it a few times, I never stuck with it consistently because it was never part of my daily routine. Usually, I kept a journal on my bed, and when I get home late at night, 9 times out of 10, I would find myself making an excuse that I was too tired to write in it. My journal stayed mostly blank, even though I already had many mostly blank journals sitting on my bookshelf. Every so often, I would buy myself a brand new journal, a more expensive one, convincing that if I spent a lot of money on it, I would surely write in it. Seems like a decent theory, right? Unfortunately, my little strategy never worked, and for years, I just accumulated more and more, increasingly expensive yet equally empty journals. That was the before Miracle Morning. From day one, the Miracle Morning gave me the time and structure to write in my journal every day, and it quickly became one of my favorite habits. I can tell you now that journaling has become one of the most gratifying and fulfilling practices of my life. Not only do I derive the daily benefits of consciously directing my thoughts and putting them in writing, but even more powerful are those I have gained from reviewing my journals from cover to cover afterwards, especially at the end of the year. It is hard to put into words how overwhelmingly constructive the experience of going back and reviewing your journals can be, but I'll do my best. My first journal review. On December 31st, after my first year doing the miracle morning and writing in my journal, I began reading the first page I had written that year. Day by day, I started to review and relive my entire year. I was able to revisit my mindset from each day and gain a new perspective as to how much I had grown throughout the year. I re-examined my actions, activities, and progress, giving me a new appreciation for how much I had accomplished during the past 12 months. Most importantly, I captured the more lessons I had learned, many of which I had forgotten over the course of the year. Gratitude 2.0. I also experienced a much deeper quality of gratitude in a way that I had never experienced before on two different levels simultaneously. It was what I now refer to as my first back to the future moment to, to try to follow me here and feel free to picture me as Marty McFly stepping out of 1985 DeLorean as I read through my journal my current self, which was also the future self of who I was at that time. I wrote those journal entries. I was now looking back at all of the people, experiences, lessons, and accomplishments that I took note of being grateful for throughout the year. As I was in the moment reliving gratitude and I felt in the past, I was simultaneously feeling grateful in the present moment for how far I had come since that time in my life. It was a remarkable experience and a bit surreal. Accelerated growth. Then I began to tap into the highest point of value I would gain from reviewing my journals. I pulled out a sheet of black paper, drew a line down in the middle, and wrote two headings to the top: lessons learned and new commitments. As I read through my hundreds of my journal entries, I found myself recapturing dozens of valuable lessons. This process of recapturing lessons learned and making new commitments to implement those lessons aided my personal growth and developed more than almost anything else. While there are many worthwhile benefits of keeping a daily journal, on a few of which I've just described here are a few more of my favorites. Gain clarity. The process of writing something down forces us to think through it enough to understand it. Journaling will give you more clarity, allow you to brainstorm, and help you work through problems. Capture ideas. Journaling keeps you not only expand your ideas, but also prevent you from losing the important ideas that you may want to act on in the future. Review lessons. It enables you to review all of the lessons you've learned. acknowledge your progress. It's wonderful to go back and reread your journal entries from a year ago and see how much progress you've made. It's one of the most empowering, confident, and inspiring and enjoyable experiences. It can't really be duplicated any other way. Gap focus. Is it hurting or helping you? In the opening pages of this chapter, we talked about using the lifesavers to close the potential gap. Human beings are conditioned to have what I call gap focused. We tend to focus on the gaps between where we are in life and where we want to be, between what we've accomplished and what we could have or want to accomplish, and the gap between who we are and our idealistic vision of the person we believe we should be. The problem with this is that constant gap focus can be detrimental to our confidence and self image, causing us to feel like we don't have enough, haven't accomplished enough, and that we're simply not good enough, or at least not as good as we should be. High achievers are typically the worst at this, constantly overlooking or minimizing their accomplishments, beating themselves up over every mistake and imperfection, and never feeling like anything they do is quite good enough. The irony is that gap focus is a big part of the reason that high achievers are high achievers. Their insatiable desire to close the gap is what fuels their pursuit of excellence and constantly drives them to achieve. Gap focus can be healthy and productive if it comes from a positive, proactive, and I'm committed to and excited about fulfilling my potential perspective without any feelings of lack. Unfortunately, it rarely does. The average person, even the average high achievers, tend to focus negatively on their gaps. The highest achievers, those who are a balanced and focus on who are balanced and focused on achieving level 10 success in nearly every area of their lives, are exceedingly grateful for what they have. Regularly acknowledge themselves for what they've accomplished, and are always at peace with where they are in their lives. It's the dwelling idea that I'm doing the best that I can in this moment, and at the same time, I can and will do better. This balanced self assessment prevents that feeling of lack of not being, having, doing enough, while still allowing them to constantly strive to close their potential gap in each area. Typically, when a day, week, month, or year ends and we're in gap focus mode, it's almost impossible to maintain an accurate assessment of ourselves and our progress. For example, if you had 10 things on your to do list for today, even if you completed 6 of them, your gap focus causes you to feel you didn't get everything done that you wanted to do. The majority of people do dozens, even hundreds of things right during the day, and a few things wrong. Guess which things people remember and replay in their minds over and over again? Doesn't it make more sense to focus on the 100 things you did right? It sure is more enjoyable. What does this have to do with writing in a journal? Writing in a journal each day with strategic process, more on that in a minute, allows you to direct your focus to what you did accomplish, what you're grateful for, and what you're committed to doing better tomorrow. Thus, you more deeply enjoy your journey each day, feel good about any forward progress you made, and use a heightened level of clarity to accelerate your results. Effective journaling. Here are 3 simple steps to get started with journaling or improve your current journal process. Choose a format, digital or traditional. You want to decide upfront if you want to do it traditional, physical line journal, or go digital with such as online journal. Journaling software or journaling apps such as the Miracle Morning app for iPhone, iPad, Android, which has built-in Miracle Morning Journal, having used both traditional and digital. There are advantages and disadvantages to both formats, which I'll address in a minute, but it really comes down to your personal preference. Do you prefer to write by hand or would you rather type your daily journal entries? That should make it a relatively simple decision as to which format to use. Either journal, when it comes to traditional journal, well, you just about anything can work. You can even use a 99-cent spiral notebook, Since you're probably going to have it for the rest of your life, there is something to be said about getting a nice, durable journal that you enjoy looking at. Get a journal that is not only lined but also dated with room to write for all 365 days of the year. I found that having a pre-designed dated space to write keeps me accountable to follow through each day, since I can't help but notice when I miss a day or two because they're blank. This usually motivates me to go back and mentally review those missed days and catch up on my journal entries. It's also nice to have
Nawala po yung ano, yung mga bagay-bagay. May laptop thing. So let's continue this. Oh my gosh, I can't even share. What's happening? Ah, and it's even hanging.
It's not responding right now. Like really. It's not responding right now. Like really. Hala, it's really hanging. What are we gonna do? Maybe I should, because it's been a while. We've been waiting. Once it's working, I'm gonna just end the broadcast, and we can just start reading the get a journal part tomorrow, because it's just really not working at the moment. Um, Close the program. Ting ting ting. Ta-da! We're so back. Let me check how quick this get a journal thingy, and then after it's gonna be a lot more. It's still a lot. So we'll just continue reading the get the journal part onwards tomorrow, mainly because we had a technical glitch and it's gonna be a lot of our time already. So that's it for today. Thank you guys for hanging on, and thank you guys for being with us today. May our Almighty Father Yahweh bless you, guide you in always, always. Thank you guys. Bye.